Welcome everybody. Today we're going to talk about beef stew, one of my favorite things. What you're looking at here is grade A USDA Angus beef stew meat. We're going to be cooking this beef stew in our Ninja Foodi today, and today is all about flavor. We're going to do everything that we can do to impart as much flavor as we can possibly put in this. We're going to be adding these carrots, onions, celery, and red potatoes to our beef stew today. And we're going to do all this in our Ninja Foodi Smart Lid. And we're going to do this in several different steps. And I have a surprise seasoning. You know, I really love my McCormick spices. So I saw this one. I know that it says pot roast on it, but this is going to go very, very well with our beef stew. Let's take that off the rotator for a second. So this is an Instant Pot Mississippi Roast. I've read the ingredient list. It is really good. You can freeze frame right there and read it for yourself, but I'll just tell you briefly. It's onion powder, garlic powder, salt, buttermilk. We got some celery seeds, some parsley, some beef fat, and some flour, and etc., etc. So those spices are going to be excellent with our beef stew. Let's get started. Okay, step one. Canola oil. About a tablespoon. Power up your Foodi. Sear saute. High 4. I don't like 5. It's too hot. And we're going to go ahead and warm that oil, and then we're going to drop our meat in there, and we're not going to cook it. We're going to brown it. Just brown it. Okay? That's step one. All right. When you got your oil hot, go ahead and dump your meat in. And that's what you want to hear. Remember, we're not trying to cook this. We're trying to brown it. In my opinion, maybe it's only in my opinion, I don't know. My opinion, if you brown the meat first, it's just going to give you a better cook on everything. Beef stew, a pot roast even, a pork loin. I like to brown them all first. Just something I do. Always done it. Always will. Stir frequently. Leave the heat high. And we want to get as much browning as we can before we move on to the next step. Another little tip for you. This is what I'm using. Mississippi Roast. Any of these seasonings would be excellent. So the directions for an Instant Pot, you would mix this with water and then pour it all in there. We're going to be putting water in, but right now we're all about the flavor, remember? Flavor. So I'm going to put about half of that packet in. We're actually going to finish our saute with the spices right on it. Right on that meat. Oh my gosh, the flavor. I'm sorry, the smell. Woo! Yes. Sometimes, have you ever smelled something and you just kind of know what it's going to taste like? Well, that just hit me. I got a really good feeling. Well, that was a big piece of meat. We'll have to cut that one up later on after we cook it. I got a good smell of that, and I already know what this is going to taste like now. Wow. Amazing. That's beautiful. Okay. Leave everything as is, and you want to get 1 cup of water going on in there. A cup of water. Let's go ahead and finish off our spices. Feel free to put whatever you want in there, your spices. If nothing else, just a little, maybe a little Himalayan pink salt, maybe a little ground pepper. I would throw in a little onion powder and some garlic powder if that's all you got. Now we will be adjusting our liquid later on for a good beef stew. Some people like it a little thin, some people like it like a really thick gravy. You can adjust any way you want, but that water is for the pressure cook. I also went ahead and took those vegetables I showed you earlier and diced them up a little smaller, but they're still in pretty good chunks. Keep in mind, we'll be pressure cooking, and then we're going to slow cook. This stuff's going to cook down, meaning it's going to reduce in volume a little bit. In we go. If you've got any other veggies you really like in yours, throw it in there. If I had a clove of garlic, I probably would have thrown that in too, but unfortunately I don't. There is some garlic powder in here. That's it. Make sure we got a good amount of water for the pressure. We do. Everything looks great. Lid down, guys, lid down. For me, on my Ninja Smart Lid, I need to push this over to seal, and I need to pull this lever all the way to the left, and that will move it into, I have to stop the shear saute function first, duh. Then we move this over, and it defaults to high. We're gonna set our time. Temperature, we're gonna leave it on high. I rarely, I'm not gonna say if ever, have used low on pressure. I may have done it as an experiment one time, but I just go for high. It's just what I like. Now, we've got potatoes in there, we've got carrots in there, and we've got beef in there. Those are the three things that require a little bit of pressure. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna crank this up, and we're gonna give that 15 minutes of pressure, and we'll probably give it at least a 5-minute natural, meaning when the pressure's off, we won't do anything for 5 minutes. Okay, why so little? Why not give it 30 or 40 minutes? Well, you can, and then you can put it in a bowl and eat it. I'm going to impart the flavor into the food, which means I am going to pressure cook it, forcing that flavor together. Then I'm gonna slow cook it and let all that seasoning, all those juices, all that flavor just absorb. And if I do this right, this should be one of the most flavorful beef stews I've ever cooked. We'll see you back. By the way, if you're new to this channel or new to the foodie, that means preheat. We have to heat the water. Well, basically we're gonna boil the water to get it to pressurize. So that could take anywhere up to 10 minutes, depending on the amount of volume that's in there. Figure 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, our little natural pressure is off. Make sure you use something other than your hand. It doesn't matter what it is. Just keep your hand away from that steam. It is very hot, and it likes to spit at you sometimes, and it'll burn you. Anyway, let's let that steam get off, and then we'll take a look at our liquid and start our slow cook. Pressure's off. Be careful, guys. Make sure the pressure is really off. Nothing. Just be careful. Move this lever pretty slowly in case there's the tiniest bit of pressure left on it, because when that unlocks, if there's pressure, she's gonna blow. Anyway, oh yes, that smell, sorry, steaming. That smell is in my entire house right now. So let me do a quick check on the liquid, and we might go straight into slow mode. Oh, you can just feel the carrots, the potatoes, everything is really nice and tender, but not too tender. I didn't overdo it because I knew I was going to let this sit in the slow cooker for a while. So let me just go ahead and talk about the slow cooker for a minute as we get it ready. Okay, so I will be the first to tell you that the Ninja Foodi is not a very good slow cooker. Okay, it's not a crock pot. It doesn't have a stoneware insert. It's just a ceramic coated, probably a steel pot. So it doesn't retain the heat like a true crock pot. But there are ways you can manipulate this thing. So we've got low. If you go all the way down, there's a little secret button you guys may have never seen. It's called buffet. Okay, that's just kind of to keep food warm. We're gonna put it on low. Now, in my experience, low kind of sucks. I'll just be straight. I love these devices, but low slow cook is not like a low slow cook in a crock pot. So what we're going to be doing here, and I'm still going to use low. It has a use. Currently set to 6 hours. That's pretty good. This is going to keep it warm and not let it cool down, and it's still going to let those flavors get absorbed. But here's the trick. Here's what I do. I go low for as long as I need to, and then about 2 hours or so before I'm going to eat, I will switch this to high slow cook. High slow cook is like a very low simmer, in my opinion, and I think it does an excellent job. So sometimes you just got to learn the tools. You know, okay, this is not such a great thing, but if you combine it with a high, you can get what you want. And there we go. We're just going to leave this be. I probably won't even come in here and stir it. We're just going to leave it be. Let me check my time. Probably for about 4 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Then I'm going to switch it over to high, and a few hours after that, we're gonna be eating our dinner. I am so looking forward to this. Give that one a try, that Mississippi roast McCormick. I just love McCormick spices. They're so good. I just use them on everything. And the house is just, oh my God, the house smells so good. We'll see you guys back in a few hours. Well, we've had it on high, slow cook for a little while now. We're gonna take a little peek inside. And if we were to stand here and watch it for a while, we could see tiny little bubbles. And that's about all it's gonna do. So now's the time where we decide about our liquid and what to do about it. And there are a couple things you can do. Cornstarch, little flour, butter roux thing you could pour in here. But all I'm gonna do is switch my Foodi from slow cook to sear saute. And I'm just gonna finish it off. So I'm gonna put it on H4, high 4, turn it on, the lid can stay open for this. It will get hotter faster if you shut the lid. And basically I'm just gonna bring this up to a good simmer and then just reduce the liquid the natural way until I get the consistency that I want. I love the versatility of the Ninja Foodi. Of course, I also cook in the Speedy, and it is just as versatile, but it does not have a pressure cooker. That's why we're in this one today. This will bring this up to a boil very quickly, a simmer, I should say. In fact, if you look close, you can already see it happening. Already getting the bubbles, so that is really fast. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's go ahead and superheat it by shutting the lid for, I don't know, about 2 minutes. Then we'll pop the lid and then just stir it until we get it where we want it. All right, that was about 35 seconds and I can already hear it boiling. Yeah, so when you close the lid on these things on sear saute, you really heat it up. So I want the lid open for this because I need the moisture to evaporate. But now we got her hot. So I'm gonna leave this part up to you guys. You know, if, unfortunately we forgot to buy a baguette. Normally I would have a baguette with this. I want the crusty bread with the soft and gooey inside. So I would like my liquid a little thinner with my baguette. I want to kind of dunk it in there. But since I forgot the baguette, yes, I know. And I'm not running down to Walmart to get one. So we're going to thicken it up just a bit thicker than I normally would. Be careful when you stir because we have pressure cooked and slow cooked all day. Our potatoes are very tender and they will fall apart. So I'm just kind of doing more like that. Let's leave it alone for a minute. All right, I've reduced that down just a little bit. Now it still looks thin, but keep in mind this is going to thicken pretty good as it cools. So we don't want to get too much of the liquid out. That Mississippi roast seasoning that I put in, it actually had flour in it. So that will help do a little thickening. And there is another way too. I could have coated the meat in flour and browned it in butter, basically making a little roux of sorts. If I knew ahead of time that I wanted something very, very thick. But in this situation, I didn't do that because I pressure cooked. I wanted the extra water. Yeah, this is looking real good. This is gonna thicken out. Thin out. That's the opposite of what I want, Scott. Beep, let's edit that. This is gonna thicken up real nice. It's gonna take a little while to cool before I can eat it anyway. Let's get it into the serving bowl. Well, here you go, guys. A beef stew done in our Ninja Foodi one lid, smart lid, with McCormick's Mississippi Roast spices. And I cannot wait to taste this. It just looks amazing. I know everything is tender from when I spun it around in there, stirred it around. I could tell things were falling apart on me. This is going to be some kind of good. Let's have a bite. Well, okay, my favorite part. Let's give it a taste. I've been smelling this for like 6 hours now, so I'm very much looking forward to this. I'm gonna go straight just for the piece of meat, and then we'll try the rest. I just want to taste the seasoning. You can see the steam rolling off of this thing, man. This is literally right out of the Foodi, so here we go. Okay, first off, very tender. Blast of flavors. That's pretty good. Never know what to expect, but they're good. All right. This time I'm going to get a little of the juice and a carrot. So I got a little spoonful of juice here. Oh, yeah. I might as well try a potato while I'm at it, too. Potato. That's good. It's not very salty, which is good because sometimes salt kills the other flavors. Some people might want to add a little more salt to it, but it's just right there on the edge. I like it. I won't add any more. I won't add any pepper. I'm probably going to eat that as is. Really wish I hadn't forgot the baguette, but hey, it is what it is. And this was pretty darn good. And I'm going to tell you again, this was so simple to make. The foodie really did all the work. I just browned it, threw a bunch of crap in there, and shut the lid. And that was it. I love this thing. How can you not love this thing? Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you real soon on the next video. I got another pretty interesting one planned for you. I think you're going to like it.